WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. Stay tuned for insightful information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
This is not Edna Bell. This is Larry Whitfield. Welcome to Community Bell. And I am the host slash moderator for this afternoon while former Commissioner Edna Bell is taking a chill, y'all. Let her get some time. She's still eating dressing and all that other good stuff. So we want her to rest and enjoy herself. And we'll see her on next week. But I need you all, those of you that are watching, you're coming in. I need you to like and share if you are on X. I need you to like and share if you are on YouTube. I need you to like and share. And of course, if you are on Facebook, I need you to like and share. Or even if you are on WVTC.com. I need you to like and share and let somebody know that Community Bell is on. We have a special show on today, and I'm so excited and just humbled that I was asked to sit in this chair and moderate this show. Our guest on this afternoon, he's been here before. His name is Dwight Harris, and in my estimation, in my personal opinion, I definitely see him as a mentor because he is helping, he's giving resources, he is enlightening, and he is doing things that sometimes people are a little, I don't know about that, but he has taken this charge, and I thank God for him, and we are going to have a great show. So again, if you are just tuning in, I need you to like and share. Like and share. Let somebody know that Community Bell is on the air. I'm going to bring him on right now. Dwight, are you there? You're on mute, man. You're on mute.
Thank you.
There you go, man. What's up?
What's up? What's up? Thank you. No, you're not Edna Bell, but you are representing and sitting in honorable seat today.
Yeah, it's definitely honorable seat. Absolutely, man.
In the Community Bell show.
Yeah. So happy to have you. But now I want everybody to know that Dwight is the host. I'm just going to be the moderator. I'm the person that normally stand in the background with the sign. Stand in the background with the sign and say 5 minutes and break and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to sit out here and just pretty much moderate. But I am going to be a part because what we're talking about is wellness. We're talking about those that have been incarcerated for such a time, and they're coming out and they're trying to get themselves together, and they're trying to get themselves well, not only spiritually, but physically, and not only physically, but tangibly. And sometimes it's hard, and this is why we have resources and programs and gentleman like Dwight Harris, who is able to talk about this and put things together. So at this time, man, I'm gonna let you have it, and I'm gonna follow your lead. So everybody, Dwight Harris, here we go. Let's roll.
Thank you, Larry Whitfield. Thank you for introducing me. Today, I want to talk about wellness and fitness. My name is Dwight Harris. I'm the CEO of Icon 10, and I work in the field of wellness. And today, I want to talk about wellness as well as fitness. And one of the reasons I want to talk about wellness, because as we know, a few years ago, we came out of COVID. Mm-hmm. Coming out of COVID, there's a lot of different aspects of in our community that does not operate, I want to say, the same way it did before COVID, which means that people don't go to work. They didn't want to go back to work after COVID. Mm-hmm. The suicide rates was up. We had a lot of criminal, pedophile behaviors that happened during COVID as well. It still today hasn't been heard. Nobody has even addressed those issues. So it's a lot of things traumatically that our community experienced during COVID. And I believe that wellness today is the platform that needs to bring the awareness to the community. When I say that, I just think about a lot of the things that's going on now, especially suicide rate. A lot of kids running away from home. A lot of kids just rebellious behaviors have heightened more than before COVID. COVID plays a big part, I believe, in the trauma that our children were affected by during those 2 or 3 years. And today, to look at our children and their violence across the country, living in desperation, and their thoughts and their ideologies are so far from being civilized, and respectability of laws and the citizenship in the community. And so I wanted to talk about wellness this way, because I understand in a different way from me doing a lot of time in prison. My perspective is 12 years being free,
Yeah.
working in the trenches in our community and seeing what's needed, because I was the problem years ago, 30 some years ago.
Yeah.
And to be home today and to look at those issues, I think wellness is important. So I had some people on that I wanted to come on to talk about wellness. I want to talk about examining like relationships
Yeah.
between physical activity and offenders' attitude in the rehabilitation processes when we come home, and demonstrating that physical activity, it produced positive benefits for individuals who's been incarcerated. And this also applies to individuals who may have experienced similar situations. You don't
Yeah.
have to have been incarcerated in their rehabilitative process, whether it's drugs or just thought that you had an issue with.
Yeah.
The majority of individuals surveyed, like 82%, indicated that they would continue to exercise upon release, constituting an additional positive step towards positive health, anti-criminal lifestyle. And not only that, I want people to understand that you don't have to be locked behind no gate. You don't have to go through a criminal process to be locked up in the mind,
Yeah.
to be affected the same way as if you was incarcerated. And so a positive mental and physical change aid offenders in a strange recovery, a stronger recovery, and preparation for public community life. That's it. You don't have to go to prison to experience those things.
Right.
When you're in rehabilitation.
Right.
And the
Right.
transition from prison environment back into society, transition from being a drug addict or what have you, going into a crisis and then coming back into the society is extremely complicated and difficult
Yeah.
process for many people, especially inmates. And how inmates spend their time during incarceration assist them in successfully moving forward for life as a productive citizen. The same way as if a person live their life before they go into a drug, go into a crisis.
Yeah.
We're talking about a person coming back into that lifestyle.
Absolutely. Listen,
And
real quick, because your guests are on and
Okay.
they are ready to go forth. I believe we have backstage, we have Artina Hartman on, we got Meech on, and we got Auto X
Well, let's
on.
go.
And so I know they all have their stories, and we definitely want to give them that talk time.
I had one more. What I had was a sentence, and that
Sure.
was that it improves.
After that, let us know who you want first.
Okay.
Okay.
And so all
then
we
we'll go
doing is
right to it.
proving energy, improves the cardiovascular
Mhm.
system while releasing tension. And so what I want to do first
Mhm.
is introduce Artina Hartman. Artina Hartman used to work on the parole board, Michigan Department of Parole Board.
Okay.
And I want to introduce her. And we would talk about wellness. And we had a conversation not too long ago and about the wellness and people coming home from prison and how we need to address that.
Okay. Artina, Miss Artina,
Hello.
Miss Artina, right here. How are you?
how are you?
doing?
I'm wonderful, wonderful, just wonderful, gentlemen.
How you doing, Miss
Welcome to
Hartman?
Community Bell / the camera check.
All right, thank you very much. I'm doing great, Mr. Dwight. How you doing?
I'm fine. So I wanted you to come on the show today and introduce yourself and kind of the conversation we had about wellness and people coming home from prison, to share with people about that awareness of what it is we need to do in that regards.
That's wonderful. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on the Community Bell Show.
Thank you.
Julie and I had a wonderful conversation. It was wonderful. I really appreciate it. As a former member of the Michigan Parole Board, I think I shared with you some things that I know doesn't take place in the system. First of all, I'm a believer. I tell people, if you don't want to know the truth, don't ask me, because I'm going to tell it, okay? But I really do think that, especially in the MDOC, that we keep our people too long, okay? We keep them try to drain the life out of them, which is so unfortunate. Some places life is 20 years. Michigan life is life. Okay, I mean we want you forever, but and we don't prepare them to come home. We don't give them the necessary tools to work with. Especially long-termers who've been there for some time. They lost family, they lost loved ones, they have no connection with the people on the outside world. And so they come home, and what do? They get caught up back in the same cycle that got them there, which is so very unfortunate. So we here at NAC Alive at 3746 Fisher, we believe in redemption, okay? We believe in redemption. We know that good people do bad things. That's why we are in the process of doing what we call a prisoner reform program, where prisoners can come and understand that they're not alone. Okay, there are other people going through the same thing, and we can work on some issues that are going on. Because a lot of them need they need therapy. Okay, they need AA, they need NA, all those things that right here at NAC Alive, right here at NAC Alive. You got to search far. We do classes in domestic violence, anger management. A lot of men come out, they're still very, very angry, okay? And so we're able to bring them into a class and just try to help them get on the right path, okay? It's a journey. It's a process. You don't do that much time and come out there, everything going to be okay, because that's not the real world.
Yeah.
It's not how it operates. And you do need people, and not just any people, but people who care. To me, that's the difference, okay? Because you got a lot of people out there getting a lot of dollars saying they're doing a lot of things, they're doing nothing, okay?
Right.
To help better these people, nothing.
And we'll continue the conversation. So I want to also bring on Mr. Otto. I want to bring Otto, Mr. Jess, I want to bring him on and talk about fitness. I know him. He's a friend of mine. I met during prison time. And in that, one of the reasons I wanted him on is that wellness was something that he mastered when it comes to exercising. And a lot of us did those exercises for coping skills and mechanisms. It's one of the programs that we want to bring to the community, where we have kids, at-risk youth in the gym, and we taking them down through there with the exercises. And so that's why I wanted this to be about wellness and fitness, because this is one of the ways that coping mechanisms we did for change. And I want to welcome Mr. Otto.
We're having some little technical. He dropped off. So
Me?
Yeah. No. Both of them dropped off? Yeah. Both of them dropped off. So let's go ahead and continue the conversation with Ms. Hartman. Oh,
yes.
Here we go.
So okay.
Meet
So
on.
this is Meech Grizzly, and I want him to come on in. When it comes to health and when it comes to wellness, this is what he do. He has his own exercise program. He's a fitness trainer, / ex-offender. We came from prison. This is what we did for coping skills. It's in the court with what Ms. Hartman was talking about. What did we do for men that coming home from prison? How do we get together, and how do we fix that when it comes to adjustment and wellness and fitness, Mr. Meech Grizzly?
Hey, how y'all doing today? My name Demetrius. As he said, they call me Meech Grizzly. I also own a personal trainer company through one of my relatives. I'm also big in the community. I'm a part of Forge Detroit. I work big with the community, and I also work with guys that's re-entering back into society from prison. And everything that we touch and bases on is very, very powerful. Even speaking upon what's important for mental health, not just for the youth, but for us, because the youth we are the ones that's guiding the youth. So if we not okay mentally, then the youth not gonna be okay. So that is a big thing. And I really use working out to understand that that's a great copingism skill for the mind and also the body, because you get yourself together mentally, you also get yourself together physically, and then isolate yourself. And it's also a brotherhood, because when I was incarcerated, the guys that I worked out with was the guys that I walked the yard with every day. We played chess with each other, we ate with each other, we built up a bond with each other, and they became our brothers. So it's a multi thing that we all doing at one time. We getting healthy together. We telling each other stories of life. Like the guys that I even work out with today, I tell them like, hey, this is the way I want to work out, because sometimes we don't use earbuds, because we communicate. Hey, what you do over the weekend? What you
Right,
got?
right.
Because a lot of people need people to talk to. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people need people to talk to, and you need the right people to talk to. See, in the world that we living in today, a lot of people talk to the wrong people,
Mm-hmm.
and to mess up what you got going on, because these type of people is not on the same type of time or the type of level that you're on, if you kind of get what I'm saying.
That's
So it's
right.
like, even in my
That's
lifestyle,
good.
I need help. Not trying to say that I'm not at the level that I want to be, because I'm not. But I talk to people that's above me, so they can
Mm-hmm.
teach me how to grow. Because if I call somebody that's under me, they're not gonna. You can't. Sad to say, you're not gonna go to a car wash and talk to a guy that's working in a car wash about being a millionaire. You're not
Right,
gonna listen to him. You're gonna say, man, you worked in the car wash, you know all about the millions. Why you ain't in the predicament that you in? So
right, right.
that bond that we build when we in the gym, and even when we was incarcerated in the yard, it really became a loving, and it really became a strong bond between each other. So that is a great fit. And as of right now, I'm working on with DPS to get into the schools to implement fitness within the schools now. To try to see if I can get in these schools to say, hey, let's get an hour a day to get these kids in shape and try to transform their mind. Because when you work out, you feel better. If you ever, I don't know if you guys attend gyms. If you guys get some free time, go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning and watch who in there. All the
Mm-hmm.
millionaires, they working out. When they leave, they got their ties on, they showered in the gym, and they
Right.
going about their day. You feel great about yourself when you start your day off like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I'm really working on right now, dealing with the community and dealing with the youth, and not just the youth, with adults too, though.
Yeah.
So
So I believe like Miss Hartman, and so I wanted her to be on Meet because she was a parole board member. And so just reaching and helping and helping those that coming home from prison, this networking and collaboration makes sense because we live that experience.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I like this fitness and wellness, because that's how I grew in prison. When I went to prison, it was all about my friends and the guys that I knew that was in prison before me took me to the walk where we did body squats and push-ups all day, every day, to build up, to sustain yourself in order for us to go into the weight pit. But in that, I learned the real strong brotherhood. I learned how to discipline myself, and I understood what the sacrifice was about. And so as the years went on, I understood what the pit was all about. The
Yeah.
pit was all about strong men trying to build their bodies up, even though we was real bony and skinny coming into prison, right? That's why you would see guys come home and they feel so
Right.
amped up about being real big, because that's one of the first accomplishments that we accomplished when we went in there. And we learned how to be men in the weight pit. And
Mm-hmm.
so when it comes to wellness for black men, you got to have some type of friction and challenging in your flesh in
Yeah.
order that you go through that rite of passage. If we go all the way back to the ancient, in order to be a man, it's something that we had to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But when we look at it today, in today's society, there's nothing that we have to do to be a man. All you got to do is say it and
Yeah.
hold none of the responsibility of in the civilized society, And so
Hey,
is
D.
Mr. Otto there?
Auto X. Yeah. Yeah. That's who I was trying to let you know. Auto X is back on.
And
So
let's
I don't know
call
if you're
Mr.
ready for him.
Otto
You ready
in.
for him? Mr.
Yeah.
Auto?
What's going on? What up, though?
So I want to introduce him right now. Here it go. This my homeboy. We all came to prison together. So we had to be teenagers in these box cells, like this real ancient way of living. They had us like up under the jail, right? And so in it, we was able to meet each other by not seeing each other but by just hearing our ears, because it was like we was in a cave, right? But as we go through the journey, one of the things that I admire about him is his ability to work out, right? His ability to do 100 or some pull-ups, just like 100, and just do sets of them, just to push up, just to We used to run and jump off these mountains of snow way up north and do flips, right? So with so many things, when I talk about the brotherhood, the fitness, and the wellness that how we created ourselves is different. And I wanted to share the people that was in there what we did, because we want to bring it out here to build men.
Absolutely. You got
What's
the floor,
up?
Arlo.
Hey, it's a privilege, first of all, to be on the podcast with such an elite group of people. I agree totally with a lot of things that I heard, and I really appreciate the sister coming on there speaking truth, because a lot of times people hide from the truth, and especially when they know it. That's powerful, sister. So I commend you. Brother Harris Hill, I commend you, because I know where you come from. You come from where I come from, And I tell these brothers out here and sisters a lot of times that, when you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror, don't expect for everybody to give you a pat on the back. That's a responsibility you got to do yourself.
Right.
You have to be self-motivated out here. Here I am, a guy went to prison when he was 16 years old, got out when he was 42. And now I'm out here, successful businessman. I own executive protection in the D. I bodyguard a lot of major celebrities that I used to listen to and do that workout training, what Dwight was talking about in prison. Here I am now bodyguarding 50 Cent. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's dope, man.
Yeah, so it shows that, with perseverance and a great support system and your belief that where you can go. I have to admit that people, I've never drank, I've never smoked, I still don't. When I was in prison, what kept me motivated was reading and working out. And that's what kept me sane. Even though I'm at the age that I am now, 54, I hear all the time, man, you do not look your age. I say, well, that's because I took care of myself up in there, I didn't allow the time to do me. I did it, So when a lot of cats wanted to go drink the Spud juice or sneak off in the corner and do a little smoking and whatnot, I chose to do pull-ups and push-ups. I chose to focus on me, because I said to myself, when I get out one day, I want people to see that, hey, I took care of myself, and I can be an example for those who's coming in there, because a lot of the youth that came in there, when they saw my physique, they be like, damn, man, what you eating? I was like, brother, it ain't necessarily about what I'm eating, it's what I'm doing,
Right.
I love me. But
so Miss Hardman, so hearing all us talk, so she was on the parole board, Otto.
Right.
So I wanted her on because she know us. Like, she had this conversation with me. I didn't never believe that a parole board member even thought about us like that, right?
Right.
So, and the fact that she working in the trenches with us now, and when it comes to our wellness, I believe that she got the narrative, right? Mac Alive got the narrative. Like, we really need to push Mac Alive. We need to make sure that people come home, they come to Mac Alive, and we can send letters in there for guys coming home before the parole board from there to get them home, bro. So this wellness thing makes sense to me to have this back and forth, because I do have a gym. I do have a gym where we gonna call it Pit, and we gonna get everybody in there and build like we used to build. But what do you think, Miss Hartman?
First of all, the cliche is it takes teamwork to make the dream work. Okay, you can't do it separated, but together we can be powerful. You understand me? In the world I live in, there are no big eyes and little U's. We're all in it together. Okay. Someone once said, in terms of prison, none of us are free till all of us are free. So I think including in the prison reform program that we're going to be doing here at Mac Alive, to incorporate the wellness, the health. We got a lot of space over here. We can do a lot of stuff right here in this building, okay? And it needs to be done. And I'm in the 48214 zip code. I'm at Mac and B with it. We got a whole lot of people in this area who need you, okay?
Oh no, hey, y'all been over there, Adam?
Mac and P Wig.
Mac and B Wig.
That's right.
Oh no. Y'all been over there Mac Alive right there? Where they at?
Yeah.
Man,
Well, the gentleman that we had that's working our program, he is also a returning citizen. So I mean, he's been there, done that, and his heart's in the right place. He just wants to, help other people because it
Mhm.
is such a it's a travesty to come out, okay, and not to have anybody that you can go to. Because sometimes, even though you have family, they don't really understand what the dynamics of your being there. But someone who's been there, done that, it makes it easier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
May I ask this question? If
Yeah.
I may, and this could be to any one of you, what is the most difficult thing that you're dealing with when a person come out that they are like in denial? Like some people can be in denial that good things can really happen for them now because they've been locked up for as long as they have. What's the hardest thing that you deal with, or trying to convince a person that, hey, just hang in there,
Culture shock. The fact that they don't know what they think they know. So we got a guy just came home. He been home 28 days today. From day one, he wanted to go to see a girl. He ain't seen her he hadn't seen her in 30-some years, but everybody told him, you can't knock on nobody's door no more. You got to call. So the culture is different now. So the fact that I can't go knock on somebody's door, now he's upset about that. So just the fact of doing what's normal, and you've been gone so long, you can't do it.
And
Right.
that will also send him back into a cycle. If he's ever been a person who's abused drugs, that's the reason. You understand me? That he'll go right back to that same culture.
Wow.
Yeah.
The disappointment, the depression, these things are real. They're real.
Or
I
your
wanna-
brother, like my family. For this instance, it's the brother that love him and say, come to my house. You can come stay over here. But he don't like onions. So in prison, he didn't learn not to be okay with the onions being there. But in prison, you could tell a guy, I don't want that. But out here, you can't tell nobody that. So in the household, you want to tell your brother, I don't want no onions. Be like, bro, you ain't got to eat them. But it's the social dynamics that be messed up and they don't understand.
Yeah.
Let me iterate on something to the question the brother just asked. One of the most difficult things that I've dealt with when I first came home was in the penitentiary. We grew up around nothing but dudes, so we had that be masculine. You had to carry yourself a certain way. You couldn't be soft. You couldn't show no, what I'm saying, any kind of vulnerability.
No crime.
Right. So, and then also one thing that was instilled within us was all our women, our sisters out here were queens. When I refer to a sister, I refer to her as just that, a sister, a queen, a princess, whatever. Two things I had to acquire myself to. One, I had to realize that all my sisters out here don't act like queens. That's number one. So when I came out with the attitude, oh, my black sister, oh, my queen. They look at me and be like, I ain't your sister. And what? So I had to adjust to that and say to myself, you know what? To be your way and to be mine. The second thing that I had to adjust to was this. In prison, and Dwight can attest to this, in prison, you have a reputation. People know you, especially when you've been incarcerated as long as we have. So now, once you get out here in society, don't nobody care nothing about what you did, who you did, or whatever took place up in there. This is a whole brand new ballgame. This is really the big yard for real. So don't nobody know nothing about no Auto X. Don't nobody know nothing about no Harris Hill. So when you come out here, it's like a culture shock. It's like, man, I got to start over to let people know who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So those are the couple biggest things that I had to face when I came out.
In relationships. Real talk, relationships. Trying to understand that. Come on. We ain't come up. I was 18. I did 25 years. I had a girlfriend, but I never had a real relationship. So when I came home at 43, I had to learn how to have I didn't even know how to talk to no girl. I mean, like he say, it was queen. Like we were taught to call sisters queen, princess and stuff, but they didn't want to be called that. I was isolated. I was
Because society taught them to be called something else.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
Even in the music.
don't
Yeah.
call them nothing. And if you do that,
Yeah.
like they look at you crazy, so you can't get the cat.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had to come down off of all that to understand what's normal. And a lot of guys don't want to do that. And
Yeah.
so those guys end up running into brick walls and end up recidivist. They end up going back to prison or destroying themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that they refuse to accept the fact that you are institutionalized. And they won't accept that. They'll be like, man, I ain't institutionalized. Yes, you are, brother. And let me tell you why. I know you're institutionalized. Let somebody ask you about the mail, and you'll be like, did the mail run yet? Or hey, what's the child? You will slip up and say some things that you would say if you was up in there, and you'll be out here, and you would slip up and say that, and be like, I know you've been like that before,
Yeah.
because you still got it in you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
And so
Chow is either a military term or a jail term.
Both.
and so I just like, so in working with guys coming home from prison, reentry, one of the reasons I wanted to talk about wellness, because a lot of us don't identify. I never identified with mental health issues until 6 and 7 years home, when I realized that you could be functional and have some mental health blocks, some things that's blocking it, some things that you don't understand. Like if you're a foreigner and you come from another country, automatically the social aspects of life are different. Quite naturally, you're gonna have a mental block because you don't understand where to go. So with mental health, it's okay to go to a service and ask for help, to say that I don't know. You do not have to say that I have a diagnosis. You don't have to say that. And people don't know that. Another thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to wellness is that, what if you go into a crisis? And so a lot of people don't know what a crisis is. So what is a crisis? So a crisis is that at one moment in your life, you don't know where you at. You don't know what to do. You don't know your name. You don't know your address or anything. And some of the cases is coming home from work and you can't find your way home. You forgot. So the police, somebody picks you up. You somewhere you don't know where you at and you don't know who you are. These incidents happen a lot, and a lot of people don't know that. So what happens if you get pulled over and nobody knows who you are and you have a mental health crisis? So if you haven't did a rap plan, if you haven't talked to anybody, what happens is that nobody knows who you are. So when you go into custody or the police take you in for questions to ask you, there's no way of finding out who you are unless you end up doing something like, it's called a rap plan. In the rap, it says what to do if I go into a crisis. So what I want people to understand in our community is that at any given time, you can go into a crisis. Let's not just look at other people and say they have mental health issues, especially after COVID. Let's look at ourselves. One of the reasons I say we have to look at ourselves, because we have to have coping mechanisms to deal with other people.
Yes, sir. I agree with
There's
that.
no way that you can deal with another person if you don't identify yourself. What happens is that that's where the confusion comes and the conflict comes in households, where people misunderstanding each other, relationships, marriages, friendships, brother-sister relationships. People are misunderstanding each other because somebody is having a mental block, and somebody is not able to identify that the other person is having a crisis at that time.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we criminalize those things. We say he's a criminal because of the way this person is thinking, and not realizing that they may be having a mental crisis at that time. So I believe that everybody needs to be aware of what those mental challenges are.
Yeah.
So when we see those things, we can identify and we can solve and rectify, as opposed to criminalizing everything that we see in
Yes,
our
sir.
community, especially today.
Yes, sir. Let me ask you this question. I'm looking at the time, and we're slowly winding down. How do we get, or those that are in need of these various services and these various people that you have on, how do they get in contact with you all for this help that is needed, man? These are awesome resources. And I know people are needing it, even those that maybe won't verbally say it, but they know they need it. They'll just go. You know what I'm saying? How can they get in touch with you all?
So you can always, if you're in need of assistance, a crisis or a helpline, you can always call 1-800-241-4949 for any crisis intervention.
Mm-hmm.
You can contact me, Dwight Harris, at 313-370-2160. Or you can contact me on my website, which is icon10.org. And
icon10.org.
or my name on Facebook. And a lot of my work, I'm just bringing awareness, and I do work specifically, with a company and dealing with wellness.
Mm-hmm.
But I want the community, I want everybody to know that everybody needs to take a look at themselves
Mm-hmm.
in order for you to understand the next person and understand where they at mentally and understand those challenges in order that we be better in our community.
Yeah. Yeah. Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
how do people get in touch with you?
Well, we're here at Mac Alive, 3746 Fisher Street, right off of Mac Avenue. They can also call us at 313-824-3900. We're formulating a group right now for our prison reform. The person who's over that is Mr. Derek Watkins. And it's just an opportunity for people to come together. And don't forget, we have other programs. We have the anger management, domestic violence, we have grief and loss. All those things, and everything we do over here is free. Everything is free. No cost.
So to any parole officers, probation officers, any services, juvenile services, you can refer over to Mac Alive.
Absolutely.
Refer to Mac Alive. Yep.
Absolutely. And don't forget, we also have NA, Narcotics Anonymous, which is a problem. Let's face it, a lot of people come out of prison, they go right back to their same behavior. We have an NA group and an AA group. One's on Tuesday, one's on Wednesday.
Okay. And we will have wellness over there. If anybody need help, they can't figure it out, go to Mac Alive. Go to Mac Alive, we'll help you out.
That is phenomenal. And I think Auto X is he's gone.
So let me plug him.
Yes, absolutely.
So Auto X is executive protection. They do a lot of the bodyguarding in the city and things like that. And if you need any assistance with VIP bodyguarding or assistance, whatever, reach out to executive protection. Also, Meech Grizzly is he doing a lot of work with Force Detroit, doing a lot of work with the mayor's office, like we are. A lot of us work with the mayor's office with community violence intervention. He also have his own exercise program. He's Meech Grizzly. Meech Grizzly, he's kin to the T Grizzly and all the things they're doing in the community and trying to make a difference.
Man, that is phenomenal. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of Community Bell to thank you, man, for putting together such a team that is doing great things in the community. I thank God for everybody, because this is the nitty gritty. This is the nitty gritty. Y'all are definitely in the nitty gritty, doing work for the kingdom, because you're helping God's people and you're helping to restore them. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you. I know Lady Edna Bell is watching, and this, I'm sure, is going to be a continuing conversation, because the situation is continuing, because we have people that are continuously coming out and they don't understand their culture shock and all of the other things that you all talked about. And they need help from people like you. So I know this is going to be a continuing journey. So stay in the fight and be encouraged. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Community Bell. And I believe Lady Edna Bell will be gracing the table on next week back in her own seat. So I want to thank everybody for being on the show. And we will see you all next week. And listen, real quick, I want you to get your favorite drink, and I'm talking about pop. I'm not talking about nothing. I ain't talking about nothing like that. Get your bag of chips or some pop or some Pepsi or something like that, and stay tuned for the Sandy Rose show that is going to be coming on in a few moments. So you all can take a break and come right back. The Sandy Rose show will be on in a few minutes. But thank everybody for tuning in to Community Bell, and yours truly. It has been a humbling experience to sit in this woman's seat for this show. Thank you, Dwight, Miss Hartman, Auto X, Meech. God bless y'all. See you next week on Community Bell.
Be safe.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. This broadcast was brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern to the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit.
The views and opinions expressed on the previous broadcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WVTC Radio Detroit, its advertisers, or affiliates.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.